What's up, everybody? Welcome to Randy Sage Films. Today we're going to talk about the most important thing you can do to make your films appear more cinematic. But before we do, would definitely appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, leave a like on this video, hit that notification bell so you get notified about future videos, and leave a comment or a question down below. So what is the most important aspect of making your films appear more cinematic? Use shot selection to tell your story. There are several different camera moves that you can do that portray different emotion within the story that you're trying to tell. For example, a static shot. It's a shot that stays still, like this shot right here. Then you have a push-in shot, a pull-out, following, trucking, tracking, panning, boom, zoom shots, tilt shots. I'm going to cover a lot of these shots in a different video in depth, but study some of the different camera motions and use those camera motions to help tell your story. Also, you want to learn about the law of threes and how to properly compose your shots. Composition is key in filmmaking. I can't stress this enough. It's one of the first things I learned as a photographer and or a filmmaker is proper composition. Focus. You always want to pull focus manually when you're shooting film.
You have to stay in control!
Try to avoid autofocus if you can. Pulling focus manually is very important because then you get to decide exactly how that focus is pulled in and out throughout the shot. Sometimes autofocus can be super jumpy, and if you're trying to film something that is cinematic, a quick jump in autofocus or a pulse in your autofocus is just not going to make it look right. I'm going to show you a couple examples right here of, unfortunately, autofocus motions that I've done within my films that I regret. I wish I could do it all over again, but it is what it is, and I just move on. Use the aperture of your camera to create that depth of field. Most prime lenses will have an aperture at f1.8 all the way up to infinity. Basic rule of thumb, at the lower f-stop on your camera creates the bigger depth of field. Notice how I'm in focus, but the background is slightly out of focus. That's because I'm using a very low f-stop on my current camera and my current lens selection right now. But if you want everything to be in focus, then you want to crank that f-stop up to give everything in focus. You want to kind of focus on this as you're creating each shot to decide what's best for your film. And finally, you always want to move slowly and carefully with your shots. Now that you've got all this great gear and all the right things in mind, you definitely want to be careful with your camera movements, be selective. It's okay to be fast sometimes, but in general, you want to have nice, slow camera movements, and that will make your film, quote, cinematic. Watch this next video and learn about the one key factor that can make or break your films.